What's up, jobbers, and welcome to the latest edition of the Jobber Knocker podcast. As always, since Nestlemania alongside for the ride is the man that would always hire 50 goons in a mask and then do the mask man shuffle to throw me off, JC.
Yeah, Ross sucks. But SmackDown Nestlemania, adrenaline in my soul. Cody Rhodes has the title back. McIntyre back to the back of the line. Cody, Randy, one-on-one. WrestleMania, here we come. Let's go out, blah, 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 blah. Whoa!
I'll never get that 40 seconds back.
There you go. That was off the top of my head too, baby. Cody Rhodes, always in the shine. We're getting right into it. Nestlemania, new WWE champion. He will defend the title against Randy Orton at WrestleMania. Drew McIntyre, have fun on the undercard with hoo-ha, Fatu, where you always should have been. All is right in the world. We got the main event everyone wanted. Some virgins bot spammed the dislike button on YouTube, but that just tells me that it's exactly where we want to be, baby. Cody back on top. I know Nestle loves it because, I'm here this week, so he won't try to bash Cody because he's a fucking coward. He doesn't have good reasoning anyways, but Nestlemania, Cody Randy's what we wanted all year, and now we got it, so you shouldn't be complaining about it.
You're right about that. We've been asking for Cody and Randy the whole time, so that I can't complain about that. But I can complain about other things. I'll full disclosure, JC, I paid a lot of money for all those bots. That's what I did. I paid for all those bots.
That would be a bad investment.
Yes, I know. So here's my thing. When I saw that, I was like, Jesus fucking Christ. Obviously, we knew this was going to happen. It felt like it was a big match. It felt like it was a big thing. I did like that Fatu stopped him at the end, so we can clearly get Fatu and Mac at Mania, which hopefully is a street fight or hopefully is some type of, I don't know, just some type of, not a feud ender, but feels like a definitive ending, I guess, in some way, because I guess he's going off to film Highlander. There can only be one. I will say this much. I don't have a problem with it because I was a young man who went through the Super Cena phase of booing John Cena and then appreciating John Cena. So I'd be quite a hypocrite here if I didn't say that Cody Rhodes is essentially John Cena now because he's getting booed and cheered and he's just getting loud reactions. People want to whoa. It is what it is. But the one thing I will say about this entire thing, JC, and I'm really curious about your thoughts. This isn't really a knock on Cody Rhodes. It's more of a knock on the creative of it all. It's just like, I understand the point is Cody Rhodes needed to be in the Royal Rumble match and he needed to be in the Elimination Chamber match for them to consider them selling those PLEs. Yeah. But on the upside of that, I was just like, man, they didn't really give McIntyre much during this. It was just kind of like, here, hold this and have some like kind of matches. But he didn't, like, I know it wasn't a long feud or a long time in reign, but it felt like we could have had Drew McIntyre do more. And like it just, what? I don't know. I just felt like I was thinking about it. Like he could have fought somebody on SmackDown for that title at the PLE. In my opinion, he could have, if he wanted to. He could have done something on SmackDown. Like if he's really a thorn in the side of Nick Aldis, why didn't Nick Aldis be like, all right, fine. If you can't fight Cody, we'll find somebody else. You'll defend the title tonight. You could have done that once or twice. I think it just feels like the Sami Zayn thing was fine. But after that, I don't remember a damn thing he did except fucking disrupt the show.
Yeah, I think that was kind of the point, is that they just did this to essentially shake it up a little bit, have Cody chase during Mania season. So like you said, could be part of the Royal Rumble, could be part of Elimination Chamber, make those matches bigger. And, Drew's a good enough heel. We can hold the title, but we kind of agreed right when he run it. It's like, it feels like Cody's getting this back before Mania. And the only way you do a match with Drew at WrestleMania as champion is a multi-person match. And I think a lot of people aren't always fond of those. So I think the way they did it, I think if this was just like if Cody won it back and they rematched these two or something, I think a lot more people have a problem with it. I wouldn't love that. But Cody, Randy, we've been waiting for since Cody has come back. Now it's set up to do that. My expectation is it's probably going to be baby versus baby heading into Mania. And then maybe Randy turns on him the one after and they do a rematch and he wins something to that degree. Or who knows, maybe Drew costs Cody at WrestleMania and that's how Orton wins the title. So they have some possibilities they can go. But either way, they got the match on the marquee for night one that they wanted. And we're off and running. We have our two main events. And, Drew and Fatu, like you said, hopefully they do a street fight or something like that. That should be a fun match. It should be a big signature win for Jacob Fatu going into the rest of 2026. And, Drew's Drew. Like when he comes back, he'll be fine. So, but I think he served his purpose, but it was time.
Look, I will say this much too, is, sorry, as I'm dealing with something on the other side here. Sorry, 1 second. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought because someone was bothering me. So look, if you get to the point of Randy Orton, this is the part that I'm very concerned about. We really, really, really had baby. We forgot about it, but it was the King of the Ring finals in Saudi, right? Or wherever it was. Like so wherever it was it Australia? I forget exactly where it was, but it was somewhere overseas. We had baby already. And on top of that, which is kind of like the shell game of the WWE right now, is Randy Orton pinned Cody Rhodes in the Elimination Chamber. And it was just like, oh, and then Cody got the belt back like less than a week later. So it's like, to me, all signs point to let's give Randy Orton the fucking go.
Yeah.
Like,
I think he's getting it either that night or they do it at Backlash or whatever, because if they want him to be heel when he wins it. But I could see at WrestleMania, like something happens and Randy gets it. Because either way, like people are going to pop when Randy wins because it's fucking Randy Orton. We love him. It'll be his 15th, whatever. And he's a fucking man. So my expectation is he is getting that title. It's just a matter of if they do it that night or if they wait till the PLE after.
I think for me, my biggest concern is that I understand that Cody Rhodes is integral in the success of the WWE. Like that's very important. He's part of the recipe. But I think what they haven't done is they haven't done a good enough, and they did the same thing with Cena, so it's very much a parallel. They didn't go out of their way to really drop Cena or Cody when they're not in the title picture enough, to my opinion, to make it feel like it was like no matter what Cody does, and to his credit, it is his birthright at this point. He's the most important thing on the show. So it doesn't give you, as a fan, it doesn't give you a moment to breathe in terms of feeling like, hey, I haven't felt really like go get him, Cody, in a while. Like I think that's the hardest part for me is I think Cody Rhodes does all the work, right? He does all, like anything he does, that man does the John Cena. That is his blueprint. I got no quarrels about him doing the hard work. It's just as a fan, I look at it like I would love to see him drop back a little bit. Cause like for me, it's like he's the legacy. He's the dynasty, right? Like he's the guy. But even in like sports, you're like every once in a while, there's that year where like they're not in the playoffs or they're not in like in the big picture. So it's like, it'd be nice. I know they probably can't because they'd lose money, but like at least for certain parts of the year, if they're going to do that, I feel like Cody Rhodes could do a beneficial for everybody else here and just be like doing something off to the side here.
Yeah, he literally did that. He lost the title and he went to be one of 30 guys in the Royal Rumble, 6 in the Elimination Chamber. You know what? Nobody gave a fuck about Drew McIntyre as champion. No one gave a fuck about Drew McIntyre versus Sami Zayn. So it is what it is. I think that's the benefit of having the split titles is that other guys get an opportunity to be at the top of the card on the other show. But whatever show the Cody's on, the Cena is on, the Roman when he was full-time was on. Like, that's just how it is. Because you put Cody in a secondary feud, guess what? That secondary feud's bigger than your title. So it is what it is. Cody's not going to be around forever, though. Someone will take that mantle from him eventually. But that time is not now because Cody is still the guy out there. Yeah, I would love for it to be Oba. Should we go there next?
Let's fucking go.
I finally got Oba versus Rusev. It didn't go very long, but I loved every second of it that we got.
It was just a shade over 3 minutes, and I was shocked when I clocked it. I was just like, wow. I mean, it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things because, like you said, Rusev is in that player-coach scenario, and it's fine, and he's working at it. But, man, when I saw this match, I couldn't help myself, JC. I obviously watch wrestling differently than everybody else. So when I was glued to this fucking thing, I was just like, this is amazing. Every part of this from the beginning to the end was so fantastic. Doesn't matter if it was quick, but the part that had me in fucking stitches was that the mics under the ring were catching Rusev saying everything about the match. And there's one part that fucking, I was dying. And I know you're going to love this. There's a clip going on the internet somewhere. I'll have to find it. It's right just before the fucking Oba bomb. He goes, grab me. And I just fucking started dying because it was just like so audible. And it was just like, he's just having fun. Fuck it, whatever. But like, it sucks that Rusev never really got, in my opinion, I think Rusev could have gone to the top level. He might not have been WWE champion, but definitely a world heavyweight champion. I think on his first run. This one obviously doesn't seem like that's even a remote possibility. No. I enjoy him as a character. I enjoy him as an intense human being. I think I believe him. And I think that's the hardest part is like, it's hard for you to watch television, like wrestling wise, and be like, I believe that guy's intense. I feel the Bulgarian brute, the intensity. So it matched Oba. I even thought in certain instances in those 3 minutes, I thought he outshined Oba, which was great. And obviously Oba picks up the big victory. And obviously we're just stacking up dubs for hopefully a big thing at WrestleMania.
Yeah, and I think this is the type of match that Rusev came back for. It was to work with these types of guys because he's a believable threat to Oba, and he's the first really believable threat to Oba. So I think this was a good stepping stone for Oba, especially if Mr. Lesnar is next for Nestlemania. But we will keep moving along on Raw here because you know what happened? You know what fucking happened to Nestlemania? Finn Balor is out of the Judgment Day. Could this be the end of the Judgment Day? Probably not, but we're on our way to Finn versus Dom at Mania, baby.
They might as well call themselves STD because honestly, it's like you can't get rid of them. I mean, not like we did the math. They have been longer than the Bloodline. They have been longer than the Vision, obviously. Any LWO, anything in the recent memory, I think they've even been longer than the NWO, which is crazy to me that they haven't had nearly the impact as the NWO, but they've been running longer than the NWO. It's crazy to me. They'll never reach full Horseman status, but I mean, Evolution, even for the most part, had like, I don't know, like a 2-3 year run. They're at like year 5. Like, obviously, players have changed and roster changed, whatever, but I think Finn Balor will be fine on his own. I'm looking forward to it. I was kind of shocked that JD was the one that fucking kind of stopped him.
That was the big one for me. Yeah.
I mean, our boy, the Joe Stopper, saying Prince Devitt in AEW by All In. I mean, I don't see that happening. Finn's on the twilight of his career. I don't think he needs it personally, but I mean, if he wants the money, go for it. But
I think he's got a pretty comfortable setup in WWE with the schedule because he's part-time and the money that I think it's much like the AJ thing. People are always going to point to it, but I think Finn would be very happy to finish his career here and then work for them in some capacity once he's done, like AJ is currently doing.
I mean, one of his best friends in the entire world is Matt Bloom. He runs NXT pretty much, with the exception of HBK. We know HBK loves him, so it's like it would be stupid, in my opinion, to take that big of a drop back. But
my prediction for this is that Finn will probably put Dom over at WrestleMania, take some time off, vacation with the lady, and then come back at some point and do a babyface run. That'd be my expectation for Finn.
I'm actually more excited because I feel like Finn Balor never really got he never really got a fair shake in general, it feels like. I mean, he went back to NXT and had that secondary NXT title run, which I thought was fantastic. And then like Triple H has tried to position him, and then he's not been bad at all. It just feels like when I watch Finn Balor, I'm like, okay, bridesmaid for sure. But such an incredible athlete that you want him to get to where he wants. Like, I think personally, he deserves at least one more time, like before he's done. Like, he never really got his shot.
He can be a mid-card champ. I don't think but it's one of those things. It's like they wanted him to be the guy, and then he just happened to get injured. And then when that happens, sometimes you never get another chance. It's just bad luck. Call it whatever you want, but I just like to blame Seth Rollins.
That dude gets injured more than everybody else, and he's got how many fucking chances?
Yeah, more on him later because we ain't talking about him now. I'm curious, out of what's left, what else did you enjoy this week?
Well, we didn't. I'm going to go over to SmackDown. Very exciting because this was one of the things that I wished for. I didn't say it on the podcast, JC, but God damn it, if this is not going to be the best tandem in sports, Mizhausen better fucking work and better be a thing, because I was just like, okay, we know Adam Pearce is fantastic in terms of like dealing with, have you met Judgment Day? That's perfectly fine. But Nick Aldis, in his own brand of humor, being like, yes, you need to find a mentor. I've got just the mentor right here. Turns over to the Miz. And I say this with no hyperbole. If the Miz, who in my opinion could get a fucking broom over, like, my goodness, this is literally Triple H could try to flush the turd of Mike Mizanin down as much as he wants, and Mike just keeps fucking showing up and showing out. This right here has the ability to take over our television screens each and every week. I think the Miz and Danhausen could go on, like, this could elapse Mizdow, in my opinion. If
I don't know
done
about that.
correctly. If
I
done
don't know about
correctly.
that. I don't know about that because Damian Sandow is good at a lot more things than Danhausen is. Danhausen's really good at one thing. But this just popped in my head. Bonus hope. Do you think that they made Damian Priest and R-Truth a tag team so they could win the tag team titles and lose them to Miz and Danhausen at WrestleMania? Do you know how mad if on the marquee it was Damian Priest and R-Truth defending the SmackDown Tag Team Championships against Miz and Danhausen?
Yep.
And Miz and Danhausen gets a WrestleMania moment and wins a title.
Yep.
He probably has about as much wrestling ability as Nicholas did, but you know what? He was also a tag team champion.
I'll tell you this much.
Hell, Nicholas could be Danhausen for all we know.
For all we know. Listen, I'll say this much. Danhausen does know how to wrestle.
I know.
But he doesn't have to. So that's my thing. I mean, I got texted by my buddy Tony, who I've known since, pretty much my entire life. And he texted me and he was like, Danhausen, he's like, I am so excited that Danhausen could literally interact with anyone on the roster and it would be fucking outstanding. Like, any of the women would be fucking hilarious. Imagine if he gets to fucking finally meet Stone Cold Steve Austin. Like, that would be fucking, I don't know what I'd do. Imagine if he meets The Undertaker and gives him teeth. Like, imagine
Undertaker likes attention so much he will do a segment with Danhausen.
Imagine if Kane came back and he goes, Dr. Ankum, here's some teeth. Like, I would die.
For one.
I know he doesn't like it, but I know. But what I'm saying is, like, literally, you could spin a wheel and it takes no effort. No effort. Like, he's, like we said last week, he's a built-in device. He doesn't need to be a wrestler. He's a built-in plot device. They've never had a wrestler that is a built-in plot device before. That right there should be a case study for anybody that wants to be a fucking wrestler, that wants to be famous. Forget fucking wrestling holds. In literally a week and a half, he went from being booed out of Chicago to going out on a commercial break and everybody chanting, "You are cursed." Like, it's ridiculous. It just makes no sense to me. But Ms. Hausen needs to fucking be a thing for sure.
It will be. I'm sure they're going to start with him being cursed and having bad luck, and he'll eventually go into it. It'll be a longer term thing. But yeah, Miz is the guy that you put with a guy like this because the Miz will get him to where he needs to be. Looking at the rest of it, there was a lot of stuff that happened.
Yeah, but none of it good.
Well, I did enjoy Orton's Raw promo when he got to give Trick a lemon pepper RKO, but whatever, not much to say there. I did enjoy Penta and El Grande. That was fun, but it went as expected. The rest of it, I'm curious if you liked anything else.
Oh, God. I mean, all of this is pretty pedestrian in my opinion. So it's like, yeah. I will say this much. I do really like the idea of what they're pulling here with Sami Zayn, like getting pissed off and then being like, "Hey, Cody, I'm sorry." Like, yeah, like I get it, but like for the most part, I kind of like that they're leaning into the fact that like Sammy's crying sour grapes about Cody Rhodes.
Maybe
which leads me to my hope that I've said many, many times that Sami Zayn has to cash in the Money in the Bank on Cody Rhodes. That seems like a fucking layup.
He seems like it's finally could be the year for that.
And I think that'd be fucking awesome.
It's a long ways away.
Yeah. But like everything else, we could get right into the fucking heat. Get him off my TV, get him off my TV, get him off my TV. Not only did we have one, but we had two fucking gauntlet matches, JC, because everybody loves a gauntlet match. Everybody. Yeah.
That's right.
One was for an IC title #1 contender. The other was for a tag team turmoil. Get the fuck out of here with that. You could choose your own adventure, JC, because either one, I could just pull my pants down and drop a Duke. So,
well, hey, Fraxium got to win. Los Garza got to win. The Wyatts.
Hold on, you're
lost something. I don't fucking care. Priest and Truth got the win though in that stupid thing though.
Well, we know why that's happening.
Yeah, Miz Hausen versus Priest and Truth at WrestleMania.
Stop it.
I don't think Miz Hausen will culminate that quickly, but yeah, no, it just it feels like this might be a way to get Damian Priest on the WrestleMania card. So whether they win it or they're challenging, because the Wyatts and MFTs feel like they're on a collision course that isn't going to need those tag titles. So it feels like Priest and Truth are actually going to get those things. Is that match next week? Or I don't know.
I thought it was next week, but I could be wrong.
I have next week. I do not have it listed, but it will be soon. And I bet you I would not be surprised if they won because it's an easy way to get Priest on the card, and then MFTs and Wyatts can do their fucking 5-on-5 bullshit something.
Yeah, I don't know. Wasn't really that great. And
no, it was very pedestrian.
And I'm very happy that Bailey fucking won.
I am too.
Like I love
Ivy
Bailey.
got a win in there against Io.
Yeah, which a lot of it was kind of fucked. I'll be honest. It was like what a chicanery that thing was. But again, I had no problem with any of it. It's just
the double booking on, even though it's different shows, like in the same week, like that is a tough look.
I mean, the one thing I will
communicate.
Say, yeah, I will say this much is no matter what happens, we're getting Bailey and Lyra versus the Kabuki Warriors at Mania. Like they've been feeding that fucking thing forever. So I
feels like maybe the show before Mania. I don't know if that's making it on the real card.
Maybe it's on the SmackDown. I don't know, but it just it feels fucking ridiculous. I don't have much else to say about it. It just feels like
no, it was what it was. We can
move filler.
On.
It was fucking.
I'm curious your thoughts on what main evented Raw this week. The promo between Punk and the Usos.
So I figured they didn't start the show, but they kind of early on in the show said that whole thing like we don't have anything to say at Punk, and then Jimmy's like, yeah, I do actually, and then they went out and I was like, okay, he's saying his shit, and out come the Usos, say you're sorry, I respect everybody but him, that makes perfect sense to me. I'm sorry he never did anything for himself, that son of a bitch. I'm sorry he gets to do whatever he wants and shows up whenever he wants, and then he calls the Usos the young boys, gets punched in the fucking head, and that's the end of it. I mean, I get what they're doing because Roman Reigns isn't there. They have to sell the pay-per-view. For me, he made a lot of good points, but I don't know. Like I didn't necessarily feel like it was great. Like I feel like if we're trying to distance the Usos from Roman Reigns on this one, that was a miss.
Yeah, it was weird because like at first I hated it. Then they kind of got me a little bit, but then I didn't really. Then at the end I was like, what are we doing here? Because it's one of those things like I get what Punk is trying to do and everything he's saying is right, but Jay just turning into the bulldog for Roman again. I thought he outgrew that, but maybe he hasn't. But I will say I thought Punk was good. Like his performance was good. Like especially at the end when he apologized and then he said why and whatever. And then Jay being the one who loses his cool. But it was just like I felt like I was watching the Bloodline from 5 years ago where the two lapdogs, like exactly what Punk said. The two lapdogs have to fill time because Roman Reigns won't show up because he's a fucking little bitch and he's part-time and he's a coward. So he has his little lapdogs do all the dirty work for him. So it is exactly what Punk said, which I think was the point of it. But I'm just curious, like, how do we continue to grow this is what I'm curious with the Usos. Because it's also like, what the hell are these guys doing at Mania? But so, it just, yeah.
I would say this was, there's been another critique that I had earlier on in the night. We had the Usos and LA Knight fighting the Vision.
Yeah.
And so how am I supposed to, that's a whole other clusterfuck we'll talk about in a second. But how am I supposed to differentiate the Usos being the good guys with LA Knight going against the Vision and then the Usos having a serious talk with like CM Punk? It felt like there was a complete disconnect, and I had to do mental gymnastics in my brain as a fan, and I don't want to. You gotta literally just feed me, like just lead me to it, and I'm okay. But if I have to do fucking like, wait a minute, weren't they just beating up the Vision? I should be cheering them. Now that with CM Punk and he's getting cheered.
Well,
I didn't like it. I
Punk like was the one playing the hero. He's the one that fucking brought up the dead dad for no reason. Like I remember I said that last week. Like I thought that was weird. So the booking of it, CM Punk's being booked as the bad guys, and the Usos are standing up for their cousin who received a low blow, who has been a baby face for a while, but Punk was trying to paint him as a bad guy. So it's just like the very gray area, I think, of these two characters were highlighted. But yeah, it's one of those things where this is the problem with Roman Reigns. Punk's going to be there every week. So he's going to need things to do, and Roman Reigns is not going to be there every week. It is your main event. It is your biggest storyline, so it has to be something every week. So it's the Usos just having to fill in, so this is what you get. So I don't know. It's a weird thing. I think Roman's back next week, so we'll see how that goes. But, yeah, this is like last week when I kept emphasizing being like the dead dad line to me was very, very weird because, like, how are they going to do it? And this is how they used it, and it's just like, I don't know. I just thought because I thought Punk did a good job in this promo. I thought Jimmy did a good job of kind of being like whatever. I don't think their performances were outly bad. I don't know if I'm seeing the vision, pun intended here, of this one.
Well, don't worry, because on Monday, I'm sure he's going to come out and talk about Larry the Dead Dog. So then everything will be one for
I'm
one.
going to fucking put that in my heat. But you know what else is in the heat, Nestlemania? Seth Rollins and an army of mass fucking gymnastic boys. What the fuck was that?
All I know when I saw it, I just went woo, 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 woo. Every time I saw them running around.
It was so hokey. Oh, that was terrible.
Like it started off very cool. Like I was like, oh, he's got like all these guys, his minions. It's like it kind of made it feel like the Shield for a half a second. And then when they started doing the fucking shell game, I was like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever fucking seen.
Mm-hmm.
Like I get that they're trying to confuse people, but like he's clearly gonna do something. So it's like if he's not cleared, he's close to being cleared. We're like not supposed to know he's cleared. At least that's how it feels as a fan. And that's exciting that he got back in time. Kudos to him.
Yeah.
But like, I'm still holding out hope here because I was thinking about it. I'm like, okay, Seth Rollins is here, but he's going after the Vision. But the Usos are messing with the Vision, and so is LA Knight. Could there be a 6-man tag here? Like, with the Usos and Seth Rollins against the Vision, but who would side with the Vision? It was just so weird. I was just like, there's so...
Yeah, because LA Knight would be on the side of the Usos and Seth Rollins. That doesn't make sense.
Right, it doesn't... It's like unless they pull 2 new people into the Vision.
No, they can't. They just can't keep adding people to this fucking stable when guys get hurt.
You would say that shit about Judgment Day. I mean, nobody...
No, I think this is... It's either Theory and Paul going for the tag titles, or it's Seth versus Logan one-on-one.
I'm still holding out hope that this fucking hernia injury was like not as bad as
with Braun. Maybe they pull a fast one. He comes back and we get Seth versus Braun. But I'm not holding out hope for that.
Yeah, I mean he's a genetic freak. That's why I'm only hoping for, But
I don't know, dude. It's a fucking shit show.
I don't.
They were dealt a bad hand and they're just continuing to run with it because this has been their biggest storyline on Raw. They clearly like the writing for it and they want to see it through, but it's just too far gone for me at this point.
Anything else that you really didn't like?
Nope.
Did we talk about everything? Oh, we didn't talk about Rhea and Jade. That's what we didn't talk about. My body. Pomo?
I kind of remember that. Yeah, I don't know.
My body's built.
It didn't make an impact on me.
Your body's built for show. My body's built to go.
Oh, yeah. That was a good line.
Well, which is fine.
Yeah.
But I was just like, that's a tough thing to come out of the gate out of the blocks. I'm just like, ooh, I wouldn't have made that my first choice. But that, I mean, it's a choice, like whatever. I think the hardest part is that Jade has never been universally liked anyway, so the roles are where they're supposed to be, but there's a feeling of now like I don't care, like I don't know what it is about it, like I can't put my finger on it as a viewer. I've always liked Rhea Ripley. That's a star. She's the carrier of the women's division and probably even more than that. Jade's a star in a different way. But there's just something about this match that I have no interest in. And I should be excited about this match. I should want to see this match. I just don't know. I just don't know if it's going to work. I have no idea.
I'm excited for the matchup. I'm not really excited for the lead up because I don't have any faith that it's going to be a good lead up because it never is in WWE with these matches. And anyways, never mind with these two. But I do like once the bell rings, I am curious to see how it goes because it should be a battle of the Titans. I'm okay if it's a little clunky because when you get 2 big physical women, like it should be a little bit clunky. I say the same thing about like Lesnar matches sometimes. Like I don't mind a little clunk, but I just have a feeling the lead up for this is going to be pretty fucking painful.
Clunk. He likes a little clunk.
Okay. Everyone likes a little clunk.
A little clunk, clunk, clunk. I'm going to do some quick heats here because this is whatever.
Yeah.
Mello and Wagner Jr., not a great match. But Mello made it work because that's what he does. He fucking takes a fucking, a shit and turns it into fucking pudding. I don't know how he does it. Melissa and Charlotte against Julia and Kiana was a match. Great. Like it didn't do anything for anybody. It just was like status quo. I get it, but whatever. And then like, as I'm looking down here, I'm like, I just fucking hate everything I'm watching. I hate everything I'm watching. Here's the thing. Jade and Michin still staring off into the distance to each other. Like, what are we doing? Like, nobody thinks that's a thing.
It's a non-title match next week. It's whatever.
I know,
giving Jade a fucking win.
I don't know. I'm just not a fan of it. Like, I'm just not. This is the season where you should get me excited. And I don't, barring a couple of things that are actually pretty good, I'm not feeling like overly excited about WrestleMania. It sucks. Like WrestleMania is my fucking Christmas.
Sometimes. I feel like you do this every year and then it's fine. You just like every virgin on the internet. I'm not calling you a virgin. I'm just saying you have virgin on the internet like tendencies. I think you just overreact to some of the shit. Well, you're gonna get it. You're gonna see the card, and you're gonna be like, well, let's lead up with shit. Then we're gonna get there, and there's gonna be enough there. There's gonna be 14 fucking matches. There's gonna be at least 8 or 9 that'll be fine. There's gonna be some that are gonna be absolute dog shit, and it's just it is what it is. It's one of those like, we got our 2 main events. I think they're both very good and interesting singles matches. The rest of the card will have some stuff we like, some stuff we don't. Like Lesnar Oba, if that happens, will be a big tentpole moment for all of us. I think Vaquer and Liv will be fun. I think that lead up will be fun too. So I think there's enough there. But yeah, it's like there's always going to be some things that aren't going to get the treatment they deserve. There's going to be some that have bad writing, but that's just part of it, man. When you're doing like fucking 14 storylines at once, never mind all the TV storylines. There's going to be a lot of mess. And some of this stuff right now is a fucking mess, but it is what it is. We're about, a month and a half away from Mania at this point. So
I kind of just want it to be over.
No, that's because you're a fucking...
Go ahead, say it.
No, you told me not to say bad words.
You can say bad words. Are you going to use the word we talked about before I hit record?
Bad words. I said bad words.
Okay, that's fine. We should just make up our own words. You know what you are? A real big blah, blah, blah. That's what we should do. We should just make
You're a real big beep. I'm just going to start bleeping myself.
A flip-flopper?
You bleeping, bleepity, bleep, bleeparoo.
Anyway, do you want to get hopeful?
Glorious.
You're my only hope. Would you have a hope, or would you like me to go?
You should go, because I had one. I forgot it was.
Of course you are. What a fucking professional this guy is. I'm going to say this much. This Friday, I think it's tomorrow. No, 2 days from now. This Friday, anyway, a particular human being who used to be a big boy, lost a lot of weight, is coming back to SmackDown this week. And he goes, Randy, I'm going to see you next week. Cody, I'm excited to see you. And I'm like, well, that was a fucking setup for fucking something next week. So here's my hope. I say we fucking go full tilt, folks. And you have Randy Orton turn on Jelly Roll with an RKO, and you punt his fucking flabby ass across the fucking ring, and you turn him right into the fucking Viper and the fucking Apex Predator right then and there, and you fucking just lay into him, and you go off, and it's gonna, because here's the thing. Randy Orton's Randy Orton. But if you make him a bad guy like that, well, we'll most likely be like, come on, Cody, do it. Like, do it for Jelly Roll. Do it for fucking whatever. Because people are going to cheer Randy Orton no matter what. But if we get heel Randy Orton, there's going to be that feeling. That's going to make WrestleMania feel like WrestleMania. But if you have this fucking baby bullshit, help me get my bra off. You know what I mean? Like, come on. Like, what the fuck? So my hope is he punts Jelly Roll into the third fucking row, and he fucking turns into the dastard heel that he's always meant to be. And it'd be fucking awesome. Because here's the thing. That is a clip that will go and get you viral moments, and that'll get you social media views and all that bullshit they care about. And then I'm sure at some point Jelly Roll will have something to do at WrestleMania. So there you go.
I can tell you why I don't like that. Because when Orton turns heel, I want it to be against Cody, not against fucking a celebrity. That's my only thing. Like, if this was like one of those things where we already had it, but it's just like, to me, like, the moment for me in this feud is when Orton turns on Cody, because that's what I've been waiting for since he's come back. Like, whether it's leading up to Mania, at Mania, after Mania, like, that's what I'm waiting for. So having him do it to fucking Jelly Roll. What
about this scenario? Let's amend or whatever I say. Let's say he does turn on Cody first, and Jelly Roll's like, bro, we're bros. What the fuck are you doing? That's your guy. And then he fucking just adds for good measure, beating up Jelly Roll.
I don't know. Has to be Cody first for me.
I think they're using Jelly Roll as a vehicle here.
I think they're gonna create some dissension, but I think Orton's gonna be teasing a lot during this, where every week you think he's gonna do it and he's not, and where I think, because like part of the storyline with Randy up until Elimination Chamber is that he's cost himself moments because he doesn't want to do something to Cody. So I could see at WrestleMania him not pulling the trigger on something, because of part of like the KO feud and stuff. Him not pulling the trigger on Cody is why he loses, and then he gets so frustrated on the next SmackDown, he RKOs and beats him up. We have the rematch at Backlash and wins the title, or something, or who knows, maybe it happens at Mania. To me, like, that's just kind of like what I see here. So I think Jelly can be a device to help continue to push that forward. I don't think we're going to get that full thing, because I think it lessens the impact of it if all his violence is against fucking the singer as opposed to Cody.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
That's all. That's the only reason. Because if not, I think it's a decent hope for you. But I don't. For me personally, that's not how I would want this to play out.
Well, luckily, you're not an audience of one that they give a shit about. So there you go.
Well, they do give a shit about me because I am a Cody crybaby, and we know all, and we're the best. My hope is going to NXT. My comeback will too, and I almost changed my comeback to my hope. But I'll have a hope with my comeback when we get to the comeback. Instead, I'm going to go next week on NXT. We have a triple threat for the NXT Women's Championship. Obviously, Zarya and Salruka has been one of the bigger storylines there for a long time. JC James just kind of there. Now, granted, Zarya and Sol can go one-on-one at whatever the WrestleMania show is, and they don't need a title, but I think Zarya should win the title next week, and Sol should have to chase it, and she should have her moment against Zarya to defeat her. I don't think JC needs this anymore. She's kind of served her purpose. I think, honestly, they might call her up. I don't know if they call up that whole faction, but it feels like, I don't know. I think it's just at the end. So, yeah, to me, I want Zarya to win the title next week. Sets up Zarya and Sol at whatever the fuck the event's called, and Sol gets her moment WrestleMania weekend or whenever they do it at the big NXT show. Hashtag JC knows. Hashtag JC's hopes come true. Hashtag surfs up.
It's called Stand and Deliver.
I thought it was, but I didn't want to say it and be wrong.
They're actually not doing it during WrestleMania weekend.
When are they doing it?
Like April 4th or something.
Okay, so a few weeks before, that's fine. Same thing.
Which is interesting because it makes it feel like, okay, well, then that means we won't be exhausted maybe by the Hall of Fame here and NXT at 11 o'clock in the morning. So
that's fair. Very fair.
Maybe that's what they're thinking, but
Very
I don't know. Would you like to use your comeback now, or because you
don't call it a comeback? We are staying in NXT Nestlemania because Ego Shamalama they have been setting up him and Ricky for a while now. They're being best friends, but Ego always has that twisted grin on because yes, he lost his North American title, and Ricky's big thing is like, I get my title back, you get your title back. But Ricky wouldn't be the only two-time NXT champion if he got the title back. It was Ethan, so you could tell. Ricky didn't know, but us as the audience, we all knew it was going to happen in that main event when Ricky said, if I pin Joe Hendry, that's going to make me the number one contender at the next whatever, and I'm going to get the title shot. Well, guess what? Ethan Page tagged himself in. Ethan Page got the pin on the NXT champion, Joe Hendry. So Ethan Page will likely be getting that title shot at Stand and Deliver. And you know what? I'd love if he won it back because I don't even know if they're ever going to call him up. But he's such a stud, whatever he does. Who knows? Maybe Ricky's part of it too. They do a multi-man or something. But it just like I've loved the way this has played out the last couple of weeks because I always love the storylines that are so fucking obvious what they're going to do, but the main character has no fucking idea. Because it's just like, it's like, yeah, we all see this coming. You see it in TV shows all the time. It's like, the only one who does it is you. And every now and then you get a little twist, but this time went exactly how it went. So Ethan Page is getting my comeback because that man can lose his title and still be one of the best in the world.
My comeback goes to one, the only, Johnny Wrestling, cutting a promo and talking about how he's Johnny Wrestling. Anybody come out there and kick my ass, go ahead, try. And then, of course, comes out. Got Obed for a jobber alert, right where Johnny belongs in the WWE ecosystem. Boy, oh boy, was this so much better than floating on a crate, TJ. My goodness. You know what? He's probably just waiting for his contract to go out so we can go over to AEW and fucking hang out with his buddy Tommaso and his fucking buddy that everybody loves, Mark Briscoe, who they had to recreate the DIY fucking turn on Collision on Saturday. If you didn't see that,
really? Oh
yes.
Thank God I don't watch that shit. I threw up.
So I mean, Johnny Gargano is doing whatever he can in every moment with the fucking crate thing, and then the crate's gone, so now he's just laying there on other things, and it's just like, okay, he cuts a promo, and then he gets Obed because that's gonna be a fucking thing. Obed, you've been Obed, and like. He's doing his job to the best of his abilities, but I just was like, this poor bastard. At least he got up today. At least he was vertical. Then he was horizontal, but that's okay. It's okay. So he gets my comeback. Good on you, Johnny Wrestling, because you didn't do much wrestling, but boy, did it count when you did.
I love that you gave him your comeback just so you could shit on him.
Well,
much like that match, we're going to get to the big old finish real quick here. Next week, you mentioned it. We have Jade versus Michin. I know you're ready. Jelly Roll live. But Nestlemania also on SmackDown, we have the WWE title contract signing.
Well, you and I love a good contract signing.
Uh-huh.
So let me ask you this question. As a fan, JC, do you hate more the idea of a steel cage match or the idea of a contract signing?
Steel cage match, because contract signings, like, they're dumb, but like at least like they don't offend me. The way that WWE does steel cage matches offends me as a human being. So yeah. On Raw, we have AJ Lee versus Bayley for the Intercontinental Championship. We have El Grande versus El Grande. We have Brock Lesnar live, and we have Roman Reigns live.
Well, that means CM Punk will be there, and they'll fucking trade blows. I assume Brock Lesnar is flying all the way on a plane to just stand there and have nobody answer his challenge. So that'll be a fucking great
he's going to stand there and bounce around while Heyman talks about how great he is and how no one's going to answer his challenge.
Yeah, that's exactly what I just said, except you said it longer. That's exactly what I just said.
You did not mention Paul Heyman.
Who gives a shit? It's implied.
My name is JC, and I am the advocate for myself on this program.
You see, that's how I know you would never be a good manager, because you can't get me over.
Oh, no, I wouldn't want to get you over, but I can get over a fucking box.
Okay, sure.
If they gave me that box, Nestlemania, that box, and whatever came out of it would have been the most over thing in wrestling.
I doubt that very much, but I appreciate your confidence.
I have more confidence and more ability and more comfortability.
That's a whole word. I'll check it out.
That's a good point, Danny. Heyman is dead, so maybe Lesnar will prance.
I mean, is there an off chance that it's Seth Rollins versus Brock Lesnar at Mania? If they can't, because if you have Seth and Brock,
that would be a much better match.
And then you have
Logan again.
And then you have Logan and the other guy going against the
It's just weird, though, because you have the Seth storyline versus the Vision. Lesnar's like with Heyman, but he's not with the Vision.
Right.
So, and him to answer Brock's open challenge, I don't know. If Brock wasn't having an open challenge, I could see them get there. But with the open challenge thing, it doesn't feel like it. Plus, I think Seth needs a win in his return, and
Brock Lesnar ain't losing until he loses his.
Yeah, he might beat Obafemi at WrestleMania. So,
I mean, that's okay.
Yeah, that's if Obafemi's going to take an L, you want it to beat a Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, I don't know. I just thought that in my head. I'm like, oh shit! Like Danny's right. Will Heyman be there? Who knows? So.
Yeah, I didn't think of that either. So good on you, Danny.
We'll give him a producing credit on that one. That was nice. That was nice, Daniel. Yeah. You're not just a pretty face. Anything else you want to talk about, or should we get into our AEW Revolution picks, bud?
You informed me before the show that AEW Revolution was this weekend, and I looked at this card, and this card is fucking terrible. But we're gonna predict it. So there's a pre-show match, Ricochet versus All TBA in a battle royal, but we're not going to predict that because who fucking cares on the pre-show? But there's something that should be on the pre-show, but we're not going to predict it either because he doesn't have an opponent and he's not worth our time. They put this big boom fucking loser on the fucking main card against somebody.
Yeah.
Why?
Because he draws, apparently.
He doesn't draw shit. The only thing he draws is a fucking diarrhea because he eats like a fucking disgusting human. First up, Nestlemania, we have a singles match in the women's division. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Timeless Toni Storm. She's still on pay-per-view, not in the title picture. Instead, she gets to fight Marina Shafir, where everyone is banned from ringside.
This is hilarious to me. I just saw the predictions real quick, by the way. Yeah. And fucking Joe, I don't know if you had a fucking CTE moment or you're just getting old. He wrote Toni Shafir. Like, I don't know if that's a joke or not.
Is he hedging his bets?
I mean, Toni Shafir. I'm picking Tony personally.
Yeah, I am too. It's Tony time. There's no way. Like, you don't put Tony on a pay-per-view against Marina Shafir to have her lose to Marina Shafir. And if you do, you're Tony Khan. So maybe that'll happen, but I will also take Toni Storm. Next up, oh boy, this match is a fucking, you want to talk about diarrhea. Trios match for the AEW World Trios Championship. The Don Callis family, but who? Which ones? Okada, Fletcher, and Mark Davis. Why? Take on Mystico and Jet Speed? The fuck are we doing, dude? Give me the Don Callis family. What?
We need some.
Who fucking wants this?
This was my concern with having trios titles. Like,
what is this match?
Well, Jet Speed has nothing to do, so they have to have Jet Speed on.
Next up, one of the three matches on this card I might watch. Just because I love saying her name. 2 out of 3 falls match for the AEW Women's World Championship. The Tekla, the Ice Queen, Spider, whatever the fuck she is, in a rematch against Chris Statlander. Give me my tickler to tickle her way to another win.
I like the way she tickles. That's for sure. Never thought you'd say that again. Yeah. I will also pick the tickler because I feel like Statlander, as good as Statlander is, I feel like, and then what happens? Like, that's the way I look at it. Like, great. And then she's going to go against the same people she's already defeated. Like, whatever.
Yeah.
So.
Next up in a match that I definitely don't need. It's a singles match. Brody King taking on Swerve Strickland.
Swerve Strickland, right? He can't lose the fucking match because he's a real fucking deal. But they're trying to build Brody, and I appreciate because the exterior of the man definitely looks good on a poster, and I would believe that. But as we've talked about on this program, the wrestling and the voice definitely make him feel less than. So yeah.
Yeah, Swerve just turned heel. Give him a win. This is an easy one for him. Next up, the tag team partner of Brody King, Bandito, takes on Andrade El Idolo with Don Callis in a singles match. This is an easy one for me. El Idolo is going to pick up the win.
I was going to say, they mentioned something on last week of Wednesday. I'm going to pick Andrade as well because they said that basically the Don Callis family wants all the gold. So I don't really care about this. So we're going to pick Andrade.
Next up, this match is just the bane of my AEW existence. A no time limit match. If this thing fucking goes for an hour, I swear to God. For the AEW Continental Championship, the champion, Jon Moxley, takes on Kensuke Takeshita. Give me Takeshita, I guess, but I just like this match is no time limit. I thought all matches were no on paper. Whatever. Give me Takeshita. I hate it.
I'm not feeling good about Takeshita. Like, I feel like they'll continue with Moxley. I don't know. Something tells me that if Moxley doesn't have this, like, then what the fuck does he do? I don't know. Like, I feel
Go
like
away.
Oh, that's not happening. You know, I both know that, but did they both, like, I forget, did they both, maybe Joe's still listening. Did they both have a win or did they both have time limit draws? Like, what's the point of this?
I don't care. Just pick someone.
Continental has 20-minute time limit. Well, that's exciting.
Is it?
I'm going to pick Moxley against my better judgment.
Oh, whatever. Who cares? We finally disagree. Next up, tag team match for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. FTR, Cash Wheeler, and Dax Harwood with Stokely, the champions, defend against the Young Bucks of Matt Jackson and Nick Jackson. Who you got in this one, Nestlemania?
I feel like the Young Bucks are going to pull the EVP card here and win. I don't know. I honestly, I think that they got one more run left in them as baby faces. I think this is a nice one. I'm going to pick the Young Bucks.
How long is the coke dope out for?
He's coming back soon.
Yeah, so I feel like I'm picking FTR because I think they're going to lose to the coke dope and Christian Cage.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe they don't need the titles for that, though. Maybe they just don't. You know what I mean?
Give me FTR. They want to give Edge and Christian a 3-second pose of the championship. So I will. Back to back, we disagree. That's pretty
Danny
good.
says he has a time limit watching AEW.
Yeah, I do too. It's called zero. Yeah, I respect that. Mine is whatever MJF does, and then I turn it off unless if Sky Blue or Julia Hart grace my television. Next up, the main event, last chance Texas Death Match for the AEW World Championship. If Page loses, he will never, ever, ever be able to challenge for the AEW World Championship ever, ever, ever again. This is a weird one, Nestlemania, because Hangman doesn't lose death matches. He also would never be able to hold this championship again, but like, what is the point of giving it back to him? So this is a really hard one. I'm going to go out here and I'm going to pick MJF because I don't know. It just something here stinks. And I'm going to go against the grain, even though it doesn't feel good, and take MJF.
I mean, you're playing with house money at this point because MJF feels like he's kind of needs this to go on a long reign. But what if he's got a movie, right? And we don't know about it.
It's true.
I mean, this is the Cody clause for all intents purpose. Like,
yeah. I
don't know. I think they must have learned from that terrible decision before. Right? I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. I just feel like the logic would dictate MJF, but
here's the thing though, Heyman's already had a couple reigns and they've both been uninspiring, and AEW has so many fucking titles.
Yeah,
they could probably get away with it.
I think the obvious thing for me is that it feels like they would go back to Hangman so that they can get the title to Swerve. Like, I think that's where they're headed anyway. So it's like
it's just going in circles.
Yeah, until Ospreay's cleared, probably.
I feel like Ospreay's the guy's taking it off MJF.
That would be the logical choice. But like, what
we got to think about is what comes next for the title. I think they have a very easy match between MJF and Andrade. I don't know what the easy match is after Hangman. Is it just an MJF rematch again? Or just rematching until I fucking die? So that to me, like, it's just so much easier to have a heel champion. And Hangman just had another uninspiring reign that ended with fucking Samoa Joe.
Samoa Joe is a 2-time world champion.
Yeah, that's
problem
number 8,000 million with AEW. I'm picking MJF. I'm gonna stick with my gut.
I'm gonna pick MJF, but I don't feel very good about it because if they do it again, it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, that's why I said this is a tough one.
I don't know. I was very uninspired by that card. I'll be honest.
That card sucks, bro.
Yeah,
it put me to sleep, literally.
Wow, what did Mr. Excitement say to you? That's what I want to know. Jesus.
He said that card fucking sucks, Tony Khan.
So he won't be watching, folks. That's what he's definitely not watching.
I'm not wasting my time. If whatever people tell me is good, I'll watch. And I'll probably try to catch MJF and FTR. That's it.
Joe says that Swerve and Hangman can do their Batman Joker thing for as long as they want.
Whatever. It doesn't have to be for the title, though.
Well, here's the thing. I think Swerve's great.
He is too. I love Swerve.
But I don't, like, in the ecosystem of the AEW system, like, sure, I believe him as a top guy. But if he came to WWE, I don't think he
did come to WWE and he wasn't a top guy.
No, but I mean, like, now, if he came as this character now, I still don't think I would believe him as a top guy.
They would have to give him a faction, I think.
Like, Top Dollar.
Who hotter than Top Dollar?
Your buddy from the Las Vegas pool.
Yeah, stud.
Anyway, anything else? We get the fuck out of here.
Let's get the fuck out of here, dude.
All right. On that note, thank you for listening and watching the Jobber Knocker podcast. We'll be back next week with some more Jobber Knockery. You're cursed.